And welcome to another live episode of Wrestling with Bros. This is Big Baby Ben.
Hey, Juice Black, the original duo. We here. We getting this thing done. So let's get it tonight.
So we're going to start out with some crazy news. Kevin Owens traded to SmackDown. Sami Zayn and him split up. That story's over. Done. Finally, it was getting stale. But where do we see KO go from here on SmackDown?
There's a lot of opportunity for him, man. You got LA Knight, you got Cody Rhodes, you got Roman Reigns again. I mean, he could get another shot, bro. Like, this is his time. And it's gonna suck that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens ain't together anymore, but they did their story, they did their thing. They accomplished what they wanted to accomplish as a team. So that and opportunities are endless. You already seen Dominic Mysterio running his mouth on SmackDown, and the new GM,
Nick
Aldis said, "I'm bringing out the new star." Kevin Owens music hits right after Dominic Mysterio says, "I'm gonna smack him in his face." Whoever it is, I'm gonna smack him in the face. Kevin comes out, goes right for Dominic, hits him with a stunner, throws his ass out of the ring. It says, "I thought you were gonna fucking hit me in the face." So I think that right now is kind of a pointer of where Kevin is gonna go right now. Honestly, we're gonna see a little bit of a feud with Dominic, get a few matches in there, and then, like I said, the opportunities are endless. There's several superstars he could start a feud with, and it's just gonna be awesome. So.
I mean, and you also got to add in that North American Championship factor, putting that around KO. I mean, where he started NXT, that'd be a major title change in WWE right now.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, that North American Championship is probably looking really good right now to KO. He's like, all right. Let's get it. Let's get that title. So I hope they do. I hope they do that.
I got some facts that I went and looked up. I thought I recognized Nick Aldis. That's actually Magnus from TNA, and he's the first British-born TNA world champion.
Yeah, I seen they posted something online. This day exactly was when Cody Rhodes challenged. It was either Cody Rhodes. I can't remember who was the champion at the time. It was for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. This day exactly was between Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis. And this day exactly from 2018, 5 years later, they're on the same stage again. They're on the same show. There's a lot of opportunity there. One thing I did want to get off my chest here quick, just for the fans, did notice that Troy Black is not here tonight. He just had some personal things he had to deal with, take care of. So don't worry, your favorite analyst, the best analyst on Wrestling with Bros, is not here tonight. But brother, you get your shit figured out, and we'll see you on the next one for sure.
The only analyst in the game hitting top rope elbows. Let me tell you that right now.
Ooh, yeah.
So, and to kind of continue on Nick Aldis for a minute, a two-time NWA world champion. I mean, I'm kind of shocked to see him in management. I hope to see that this goes from a management role to a fighting role.
Hopefully so, because he doesn't need to be just stuck backstage. But here's what you need to think about. For the longest time, Adam Pearce was head over both shows. He was the GM of Raw, SmackDown. Now he's just solely focused on the primetime Monday Night Raw, face of WWE show that everybody calls it. But SmackDown's been picking up their game lately. So now you got two GMs. You got Adam Pearce, you got Nick Aldis. I think this was just in time for Survivor Series. It was just in time to set up this perfect rivalry between two brands, SmackDown and Raw, and hopefully, honestly, they bring NXT into this. Shawn Michaels, he's running that shit over there. So let's see one of the best Survivor Series in years between Team Raw, Team SmackDown, Team NXT. I mean, come on, you got to give the fans what they want. We want to see this shit.
And kind of moving to, you just brought up the man himself, HBK, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Monday Night, Mr. WrestleMania himself. There was a topic I wanted to cover about him that Troy brought up. I believe it was in the last podcast or the podcast before.
Okay.
Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. Is it the best WrestleMania match of Undertaker's career?
He had a lot of amazing matches, but with the fact of the stipulations, it was the career versus the streak. It was one of the best. I'm not going to disagree with Troy at all on that. I can, I guess, disagree a little because, I mean, I gave a different WrestleMania moment. Can't remember which one now at this point. Got a lot going on.
Cody and Seth, I believe, is what you gave.
Cody and Seth was one of the best too. I don't think now that I think about it, honestly, it probably wasn't as good as Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels because of that stipulation. So yeah, it was one of the best WrestleMania moments. So Troy was not wrong there. He was definitely very right about that.
Yeah, I had a couple days to think on it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give Troy a nostalgia point here. I think I'm gonna give him a point, and give him that win over. Shawn Michaels. I actually rewatched the match, and it had me on the edge of my seat because it was like a whole 20 minutes. Right? Holy shit! Like the preview, it showed the whole feud between them all over again before the match. And I was sitting there watching that dope ass promo video, and then we get to the match, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've already seen this 5 times."
Just fucking barely moving back. Oh, he can't get up, and Jenny just like gets up, and he's just like. Triple H did that same thing when he faced Undertaker at Mania. He just like. And that just pissed the Undertaker off.
We move into another legend, probably, in my opinion, the GOAT himself. Woo! Ric Flair making wrestling news today all over the internet. All right. He says he's 74 years old. He's had open heart surgery, and he wants one more match in WWE.
Oh my God.
It's all over the place.
I'm looking straight at the camera. Rick, no. Do you want to die in the middle of the ring? That's my question for you. Well, I shouldn't ask that. He probably does. He probably does. Rick, you've had a legendary career. We love your career. You've given us Charlotte, my buddy over here, over there, whatever the fucking way direction. On the screen next to me is a huge fan of your daughter. I'm not so much, but I will not take away from her career. She is an amazing athlete. She's held several titles already in her career. She's probably going to beat yours. But you do not need another match to prove anything, man. You have given us your all. You have given us everything. Don't stain your reputation by trying to give us a half-ass match. I'm sorry. A half-ass match that is not going to go well for you, especially if you try to take on one of these younger stars in the WWE today. That will not end well for you at all. So that ends my rant right there.
I mean, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, brother. Listen. If he's ring ready, look, that is one of the, let's think about it. The greatest of all time to lace a pair of boots to run them ropes.
How do you get yourself ring ready at 74 years old when you're about to take on a walker? The man looked, his match with Shawn Michaels in a career-ending match was one of the best moments. And he looked rough in that match, man. Now, several years down the road, I don't even know when that match was a while ago. Like, it's in history books.
The whisper of "I love you" across the ring before the super kick.
Super kick, Rick. Super kick.
That was it.
Sweet chin music. Sorry, bro. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love you, bro. I love you, brother. Your career's over, Rick. Stop. You lost against one of the best to ever lace up his boots, HBK, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. Your career in the ring, wrestling is over. Do not. I will give you one more. Woo! That is it. No, do not do it.
Woo! You gotta admit, though, you'd watch it
as many times as you tell these wrestlers where they beat their heart beats wrestling. No matter their age, they don't want to give it up.
Never.
There's a point where the body just can't handle it anymore. It can't take those bumps, those beatings, those bruises. Rick has had open heart surgery, right?
Yes.
Dude, don't. Triple H had to hang up his boots because of a heart problem. We saw Jerry Lawler get in a ring, do a match, and then the next rollover or whatever it was, he had a heart attack at the announce table.
Yep.
Your body is only designed to handle so much before it has to quit. It has to stop. And I guess if that's what he wants to do to finish out his life and his career and his legacy, go for it. I mean, go for it. But on the Wrestling with Bro side, at least on my point, don't do it. You don't need it. Your career is legendary. It is one of the best. High flyer, the badass talker, the dirtiest player in the game. You do not need to build on that legacy anymore. Let your daughter carry on that legacy because your daughter is just as dirty. She can talk, she can spit a promo, she can talk her way into any championship match, and they have no problem giving it to her because she is Charlotte Flair. Woo!
The Queen.
Oh, yeah, showing off them robes. Styling and profiling.
The Queen.
Yes, the Queen. I give it to her, bro. You know me, I don't hate Charlotte Flair. I feel like there's so much opportunity for people, and too much of it's being taken away for her. She doesn't need much more. Okay, let her beat her dad's streak. But you got to give other divas a chance. You got to give other people a chance to shine. It's not just about one family in this business. You know, I love wrestling, man. And hopefully I will be able to, at least by this time next year, you'll be watching my matches. I hope.
Oh, we got a fan complaint. Boo, the Flayers are cheaters. That's it. They only win with cheating. I mean, they built a legacy family off the eye gouge, the low blow.
Who's the fan?
Wrestling Bish 29.
All right, Wrestling Bish. You know who you are. The Flair legacy was built on that. That is what makes a Flair a Flair. You just
dirty.
Accept it. As much as you don't want to, you got to accept it. You got to be willing to say, okay, this is them. You don't have
You have to be able to appreciate the bad guy in this situation. You have to appreciate the heel.
You don't have to like it, but that is exactly what a heel does. They piss you the fuck off and make you hate them. They make you boo them because they are doing it just that damn good. So the Flairs are the Flairs are the Flairs, and they're going to do it continuously, generation after generation, long after we're gone. You're going to have Charlotte's going to eventually probably have a kid. Someone else is going to have a kid, and it's just going to keep on trucking because the Flairs are the Flairs.
Or Rick's continuing to make children still. You know what I'm saying? Woo, at 74.
Oh, yeah, styling and profiling and getting in them long limousine riding, getting them women, making them happy, and the next thing you know,
I just want to give the man the credit. He invented heel promos. Let's be serious. Ric Flair with the glasses, the suits, the fancy shoes. He invented dickhead in wrestling. He invented the first dickhead gimmick. Woo! Woo! Like every time you talk. Woo! Woo! Yeah. Man. Now, there's a promo that exactly, see? Your childhood was, you know what I'm saying? Bro, one of the greatest in the game to do it. So, talking about goats, talking about greats to ever do it, calling himself in God mode. We're talking about the man himself, the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, making a major impact on SmackDown this week on his return. And not letting anybody handle his business but himself. You saw the look he gave Jimmy when Jimmy came out and threw LA Knight out the ring, I think it was. And then was it LA Knight that he threw out? And then he got back in and threw out Jimmy?
Yeah, John Cena tossed Jimmy out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he tossed Jimmy out, and then Solo grabbed Cena, hit him with a spike. LA Knight comes back in, just gets right back up and said, He got right in Roman's face. Roman says, "Who do you think you are standing in my ring? You need to get out of my ring." LA Knight says, "You know, that's a pretty good way to make yourself past tense talking to people like that." Ooh, that's LA Knight calling out the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, making it apparent to Roman that he doesn't give a fuck who Roman Reigns is. He's LA Knight. And whose game is it? Whose game is it? L.A. Knight. Yeah. I want to see it. The fans are going to want to see it. We want to see Roman Reigns versus L.A. Knight. It would be a shocker to see L.A. Knight pull off the victory.
Look, wow, I can't talk tonight, y'all. I am a LA Knight freaking fan, okay? I love this guy. You want to get last week in wrestling podcast, yo, what's up, Dylan? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Dylan?
Speaking of last week in wrestling podcast, Billy, you don't have to give it all away, but why don't you give them a little sneak peek of Tuesday?
Fans. So we're not going to tell you everybody, but next Tuesday, we've already locked it in, 7 p.m. We are coming on the StreamYard, streaming live to YouTube. We have two wrestlers who've had a past with each other coming on the show.
Ooh, juicy.
Also being joined by Last Week in Wrestling, Dylan Musso. This is going to be a podcast episode for the century. People are going to want to watch this because, we got two wrestlers that are going to be clashing head to head. We got Last Week in Wrestling who's bringing his game in there, going to get some questions in along with us. It's just going to be an episode that is just going to be worth watching. So like I said, Tuesday, 7 p.m., YouTube, tune in for sure.
Another shout out because, man, look, when we got in this game, all right, we were on Spotify, podcast.
Yep.
And Dylan was our first guest with energy.
Yes.
And brought in a whole different oomph to the show. And I just want to say, we've done multiple shows together now. We came on your show. I can't wait. I cannot wait to go back. I would love to do a watch along. That would be so cool to do that.
Yeah, and you can't take away from the episode we did, I think it was right before the last week in wrestling. I was with a podcast called Generational Jams. Don't think we forgot about you, brother, Keith Lawrence. We definitely are going to want to bring you on live for sure. We want to bring you on so the fans can see who you are, so you can tell them what your podcast is about live on video. You've really inspired us a lot as far as podcasters go to really want to do this thing, to keep this going because the fans want it. So we're going to give the fans what they want. So we definitely are going to bring you back on here real soon. I'll hit you up on Facebook and we'll get it set up for sure. So, and not only fans do we have a podcast on Tuesday, we also have one on Friday with a podcast with another wrestler from SCW. Not going to spoil the name yet. You'll have to see. You'll have to stick around and wait to find out. But we are definitely pumping out these episodes. We're bringing these wrestlers on. They're giving you their life stories and teaching you what they're about. So just got to keep doing it. Keep rolling for sure. Ben?
Yep, I'm here. We had a technical difficulty there. The wind's blowing kind of hard, and it's smacking my internet, and the internet's not agreeing with it. So I had to go to my phone data. I apologize, y'all.
I was like, Ben, you kind of froze the cloud in your face. All I see is this.
So I mean, we were talking about Roman Reigns, and then we got pumped because we saw Last Week in Wrestling podcast here in the comments section. Roman Reigns.
Did he say anything?
He has not said anything about Rachel Reigns yet. No.
All right, come on, Dylan, lay it on us, man. We want to know what you got to say.
Roman said that he feels disrespected that Cody Reigns has tag team gold.
Cody Rhodes. You said Cody Reigns. It's Cody Rhodes, brother. Don't get those names mixed up. I know you want to just combine them together so you can just talk about him, and let's keep on hyping the subjects up.
Man, Rhodes, my bad.
Roman Reigns. If it's not LA Knight to dethrone him, it is going to be Cody. I'm sorry. This spoiler has been building up for a while. The Rock is going to be going back to Hollywood. The strike is over. We're not going to get what we've been building up for 2 years.
He's working on Barbie too.
What is he? Ken pumped up?
I think he was the mermaid or a merman.
No, that was John Cena.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You said
he was wearing. No, the Rock did the Tooth Fairy, though.
Yeah, he has played the Tooth Fairy, that's for sure. Him and Larry the Cable Guy.
So this stare down between Roman and Cody, to kind of end the show, it kind of brought some excitement out of me because I'm a Cody Rhodes fan. Definitely his AEW run, which we do need to cover more AEW on this show. Yes. No cap, we do. It's an amazing product. So Last Week in Wrestling podcast says Rachel Reigns came back, and we saw Cody and him look at each other to possible feud. Don't need.
We've got Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns staring each other down. Now, people are saying if you paid close attention to the card, paid attention to the screen, who did you see on the opposite side of Cody and Roman? Jimmy and Jay staring each other down. This is the opportunity for possible 2 matches that are going to be on the WrestleMania 40 card. Standing on the SmackDown stage right in front of each other. So we've been wanting to see Jay and Jimmy versus each other for a long time.
He said, don't need that either.
we gotta have it. You gotta have Jimmy and Jey Uso standing there across the ring from each other to see who is the better Uso. So that's what we're gonna get. I mean, you may not want it, but that's exactly what we're gonna get for sure.
At this point, with the way the stories have been, have it mounted to anything worth fighting for?
I disagree. You're going
Oh,
to have the ultimate babyface Uso versus the ultimate heel Uso. That is worth watching. These two athletes, the Usos, are two of the best tag team members in the WWE. They've accomplished it all. To finally get to see who is the better Uso, in my book, that's a noteworthy match.
we got another tribal fight where nobody can get involved, and then the whole family get involved.
Nah, don't need to make it a tribal match. Just a one-on-one. Go back and forth, do your guys' thing, splash each other a few times, see who's better, and see who picks up the victory.
Something I'm excited about on Friday Night SmackDown, but he said last week in wrestling podcast, but for what? Well, man. I'm kind of siding with Dylan on this one, man. I'm not pumped for it. I'm pumped for Cody and Roman. That I want to see. That's the baby face and the ultimate heel going at it. I'm excited for that, but Jay's gonna win. It's a give me. They're not pushing Jimmy at all. They threw him right back in the bloodline because they had nothing for him. And then they took Jay Uso and said he's the main event guy.
Just because Jimmy says he's back in the bloodline, you seen Roman's face in the ring when Jimmy got involved.
Yeah, irritation.
What the fuck are you doing here? Why are you getting involved in my business, the bloodline business?
Last Week in Wrestling podcast says, what does that do for either guy when we know Jay will be the only one getting a push, not Jimmy? It's a pointless victory. It doesn't matter. He beat Jimmy Uso. Oh my God, that's his story. Yay! We said this guy was going to be main event. Jay Uso.
Prover. It proves the point that Jay can stand on his own. He does not need his brother, and his brother is just in the way.
No, he needs to stand on the movement. Because they didn't know what to do with it. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100 in my opinion of creative here. I'm a big Jey Uso guy. I like the guy. He's talented, but it should say mid-card Jey Uso, not main event Jey Uso.
I feel like Jey Uso is going to get somewhere. It's just a matter of time. You guys said the same thing about the Bloodline story. It's just a dragging on endless thing, and it has been for a while, but I think we're getting ready to come to a head. I really do. Within the next few months, we're going to get something. We're going to get a finalization of the Bloodline storyline.
They won't let Jay lose against Jimmy. Last Week in Wrestling podcast.
Shocker. What if it happens?
If Vince is there, it's not.
Vince isn't as involved anymore as you guys think he is. He's really not.
I don't know, $1.9 billion, and there's still pictures of him back there with headsets on and sitting at the creative table saying, yeah. Like, no. Look, Triple H stepped down as an executive officer, and now he's in, creative talent. But how long until they want to push him out of there?
They're not going to push him out of there. Triple H is making this thing a product. Do you really think, if Vince is that involved, do you really think that Vince McMahon created Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso as a tag team?
Vince is out. He's doing marketing now for the show, not creative. Papa H is in creative control. That's from Last Week in Wrestling podcast.
Yo.
But honestly, do we need Jay versus Jimmy? I
want to see it. Honestly, I want to see it.
You want to see it?
Yes. I want to see it. Because regardless of whether you guys think there's a point or not, I think there's a point that each brother needs to prove to the other. Who's better? That's all it's not no major point. There's no title victory. It's a point to prove who is the better brother. Who is better when it comes to the ring.
Well,
who was this other bloodline member, Ben? You sent me a video the other day. Was Safa Fatu or something like that?
oh man, that's Rikishi's other boy. So that man right there, brother, is the Umaga everything. He needs to be in the bloodline. This man is a beast.
It's hold on, let me see if I can find that video you sent
me. He bro. Bro.
One second, I'm trying to find his name, brother.
It's Jay. We don't need a match to prove it. I totally agree, Dylan. Last week in wrestling podcast, I agree, brother. Yeah. And he's still in the mid card. That's what's bothering me. We were pushing this main event. Yeah, but now he's behind Cody Rhodes. I want to see this guy do something on his own.
Sifa Fatu. Sifa Fatu.
Sifa Fatu. See, that just sounds mean. And the dude is mean. If you haven't seen him yet, look him up. Okay.
I watched that video, man. Holy shit. He's the perfect combination of beat your ass and high flying.
Uh-huh.
Right? He is a monster. And it's definitely going to be worth watching. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't end up as part of the bloodline at some point.
And speaking of bloodline, we've seen a reaction now with The Rock's daughter and Paul Heyman. We've seen that she has said goodbye to the group she was in.
Yeah, her and the leader, Ben, you know the group better. The group was called Schism, but what's I
think it's Joe Gacy, I think is his name is.
Yeah, Joe Gacy. Officially told The Rock's daughter. God damn, I keep forgetting names.
I don't have it in my notes right now.
Something Rain.
Ava
Rain. There you go. Ava Rain. That the group is officially done. So now Ava Rain is free to potentially become a part of the bloodline. You need a female member. I think we're eventually going to get the bloodline at some point, bloodline versus Judgment Day. And you've got Rhea Ripley as a part of the Judgment Day. Now you need another female member and you need another male member, correct? Or no, we should have enough if there's you got Roman, Solo, and Jimmy. And if you bring Ava Rain in, then you got Dominic, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. A 4-on-4 match. Some sort. It would be a good throwdown to see which group is more destructive, more strong, more powerful. Ava Rain is still a little bit wet behind the ears, I guess you could say. Rhea has definitely proven herself to be one of the most dominant female champions. And Triple H himself has acknowledged that. He has acknowledged that Rhea Ripley is, if not, but headed right towards that same kind of glory as Roman Reigns. He said that himself.
I can see it. She's a beast.
Yeah.
And she can run the ropes, you know. I mean, she's a veteran in the game.
She told Paul Heyman, acknowledge me. And Paul Heyman said,
you're in the wrong locker room.
You're in the wrong locker room to be saying that. And she said, acknowledge me, Paul. What is Roman going to do? Roman going to beat down Rhea?
So that kind of moves us into the first surprise question of the night.
Okay.
I was kind of excited for this one because we're going back into the Attitude Era days. There's a certain superstar, the Wolverine, the Cripper Crossface himself, Chris Benoit. What was your favorite Chris Benoit match?
Bro, that's been a while. I would say my favorite saga with Chris Benoit. You know, that's a name that WWE doesn't mention too much because of because of how him and his family left this world. And it's very sad. It's unfortunate that it ended that way.
Facts.
There's a lot of theorists out there about he didn't kill himself, somebody killed him. Um, there's a lot behind that. But if I had to say my favorite saga for Chris Benoit was when him and Eddie Guerrero. I can't recall a specific match at this brief moment, but those two were two of the best in the ring, and they definitely knew how to throw down a great match. But those are two names that are also no longer with us, and it's kind of hard to talk about them because I really like both of them.
I promised Troy I'd spice up the questions.
Yes. Troy would definitely spice it up a bit more. I wish he was here tonight for sure. But Chris Benoit was exactly what his nickname said he was. He was a monster. He wasn't a huge guy, but he was a monster in the ring, and he could move around that ring like no other. And then you had the lying, stealing, cheating, Viva la Raza was one of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. And I'll go back and watch them matches time and time again. When I want to go look at some old stuff, and it brings a tear to my eye sometimes because they're not here anymore. They can't give us anything else, but their careers, in my eye, their careers were legendary. And that would be some of my best moments when I started watching wrestling was with those guys.
My favorite moment, and I went back and watched it. It was Triple H versus HBK versus Chris Benoit at WrestleMania XX. And this is the one where Eddie came out and he had the gold. And Benoit had the gold, and they hugged in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Man, I was just sitting back watching that moment, and I was like, man. And, I started tears come to my eyes because
Chris Benoit picked up the world title, right?
Yes, he did. And it was a very hard fought, hard-hitting, long triple threat match. I mean, you got three of the greatest to ever lace up their boots in the ring on the biggest stage of them all.
And
if
Chris
you go back
Benoit
and
had a very big point to prove there.
he won the Royal Rumble. It was supposed to be 1-on-1, and Michaels talked his way into a triple threat match.
Yep, and he proved that it doesn't matter if you're one of the greatest names at that time or not. You could still accomplish your dreams against two of the greatest to ever do it. No problem.
So, can you take some time to promote the show for HAW on the 28th and let the fans know about it?
So, there is a show on October 8th for one of our favorite small promotions, one of top ones that we really like, HAW. It's their Halloween show, October 28th at the Martin Luther King Center over in Rock Island, Illinois. It's going to be all about stipulations. So there's not going to be a match on that card that isn't about the stipulation. There's going to be title matches of some sort thrown in there. There's going to be stipulations, whether it be like Mateo's match, a beauty supply match, just anything and everything that they can think of is going to happen in that ring. The talent that the HAW roster harbors is like nothing I've ever seen in a long time. I can almost compare them to some of the matches that I see in NXT. These guys, they don't care what they got to do. They just want to be there to impress the fans. And I can tell you fans that they are well worth watching. $12 for adults, $5 for kids 10 and under. You can't find a better way to spend $5 than a Saturday night at the Martin Luther King Center for HAW, sponsoring a small business, paying your money, get in there, check them out, see what they're about, because it is going to be well worth watching. So I would definitely say you got to be there.
And
go ahead.
I wanted to add in real quick, Trey Parker in our last episode. gave us a major announcing with his whole announcing persona, and it was so cool. You guys gotta go check it out. And he also closed the show, and that was our last live. I just wanted to give him a shout out real quick from the HAW side.
Yep. In the show on the 28th, it's doors open at 6. Show starts right around 7 o'clock. So you got to be there. You got to be there. You got to check it out. And make sure the fans have a chance to get in there before they start.
A and B.
A and B. Go be there.
A and B. Oh, shit.
There. Gotta be there. You got so excited you got your phone over.
Swiped it. A and B.
Another promotion that I would like to bring up while we're, giving out some shout outs, MCW. James Stoblin owns that promotion. He's going to have a show. It's in Ottawa, Illinois, November 4th. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. We will be down there as well. Wrestling with Bros. We're going to be doing some commentating, promoting the wrestlers. We're going to be going backstage. We're going to be meeting with the wrestlers, doing some small interviews on the live, just really hyping them up because we want to get them up off the ground too because they're trying to make a comeback. They're trying to, make a name for themselves.
So excited for that.
This is their chance as well. And they're tied in real well with HAW. They kind of wrestlers go back and forth between the promotions, and that's something I'd like to say, like with WWE. Stop thinking you got to keep everything to yourself. This wrestling world is about the wrestlers. It's about the fans, giving them what they want. You guys need to have a forbidden door. You need to open that forbidden door and work with these other promotions to give fans what they want, to make names for people that nobody knows who the fuck they are because you guys won't give them a shot. We've already seen, a wrestler over at HAW that came in for a show, Madman Fulton, gave an amazing performance against Conan Lycan, and you guys are really missing out not opening that door and allowing for a little bit of mixture. Yeah, you got to do something because if you just keep running the same stuff over and over and over, eventually it's going to get stale, and the fans are going to go where the excitement is, and that's these smaller promotions that are really building a name for themselves, tying in with the communities.
A and B.
And there's also going to be a show as well, December 9th, back at the Nerd Speak Brewery. Nice little bar. They do nights where they do trivia night. They do things for the families. They do things for pets. It's a small little bar, and they're just struggling right now to kind of get their name out there. And they are awesome. Their brews are amazing. It's good. And the people are very amazing there. They're very nice. They love to talk to the guests, to the customers, get involved with the customers, sit down and talk with you, have a beer with you. It's all about the small community stuff that really matters. And they keep wanting to bring HAW back. They want to get that promotion out there for themselves, but also for HAW. And their last show that they did there was nothing short of amazing. And it brought the community came in. I mean, the people poured in. And we want to keep doing that. We want to keep this bar around for a long, long time, this brewery. We want them to be here for a long time as well because it's an amazing place. It's a good place to just sit back, kick your feet up, and enjoy a good beer. Because I'll tell you, going from drinking a bottle of Angry Orchard to drinking a raspberry cheesecake brew, whoo, some good shit. Some good shit. $8, but it's well worth that $8.
That's $8.
It's well worth the $8.
So, a name that that switched from WWE over to AEW, Adam Cole, baby, you know what I'm saying? To undergo ankle surgery. Ooh.
Yep, he messed up his ACL. And it's pretty fucked up here. I understand he's going to be out for some time.
Major loss with him and the connection that him and MGF have on screen right now. I hope Last Week in Wrestling podcast is still here because he covers a lot of AEW. He's a major fan of AEW, and I am too. I just had the time to watch the highlights. I need to make the time to watch the full show
Yep.
because they got it going on right now. And to continue AEW news, we got Christian Cage being the ultimate heel in the business right now. I know I cover this every week, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about it, but I don't give a shit.
He cares, but he wants to give you some of the best news and keep that shit coming out because that's what it's all about. It's about the wrestling world and knowing exactly what's going on every moment, for sure.
Christian Cage, man, and Adam Copeland. It's gonna happen, and I hope that happens soon because it's gonna be one hell of a match. Christian's still in perfect ring shape. Edge still in ring shape. They still have time to do this one final feud, and then Edge can say goodbye.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Put the TNT championship around Adam Copeland.
Good shit.
Let him have a nice Logan Paul Prime. Logan Paul, did you see that?
There's a nice little shout out for you, Logan.
Make sure you get the bottle really close to the camera.
It's good shit. Good shit. I may not agree with everything Logan Paul all the time, but man, I can tell you make a mean ass drink.
And what a heel.
Oh yeah. So I'm waiting to see when he comes back on the screen.
He's boxing right now.
Okay, but he'll be back eventually, I'm sure.
He'll be back, but he's got to go make that right hand a little bit stronger.
You don't need to be any stronger. He knocks him clean the fuck out. What are you talking about?
So, Randy Orton. I know this has been dragged on this show for weeks on end, and we've been talking about a return, and Big Baby Ben wants to see RKO on his TV, and he's getting impatient about it. I know. But you got to think, if he's cleared, Survivor Series?
That's what the talks are. I mean, we've been talking about it, saying that's what the talks are every week. This goes back to freaking Spotify, I think. We're talking about Randy returning the perfect time. His own personal gear maker was already making him ring gear. Where are you, Randy? If you're going to make a comeback, man, Survivor Series at least is the time. We need to see you. We need to see you on our screens. We need one more RKO to satisfy our cravings. So come on, Randy. Bring it down, man. We know that you've been out for a while. And I don't think you're rusty. I don't think you'll be rusty at all.
No.
You've already.
That's a goat.
Hit the gyms. We've heard you hit the gyms.
We've seen footage of him entering the Performance Center in Orlando now, and him talking to the fans with that Randy Orton smile. And I mean, dude, I'm a huge Randy fan. Me and you go way back, Billy. I'm talking me and you go back to when we were kids, when it was your guy, John Cena, versus my heel, Randy Orton, the Legend Killer. And just the bloody matches that these guys put on is insane. I cannot wait. Randy took Matt Riddle, and when he was kind of in limbo, he was still relevant. He was still popular, but kind of just backstage and catering.
Yep.
And made him a tag team champion.
Yeah.
Look what he did to Cody Rhodes. Randy helps young talent. And speaking of veterans of the game, we haven't seen him in a while, and I'm very impatient for Suplex City. My boy Brock Lesnar, I just saw articles today that supposedly he'll be back in January.
Just in time for the Rumble.
So, what do you think? If you're in WWE Creative, this is the surprise question. Next surprise question. You're in charge of Brock Lesnar's return. Where is it? The Rumble? Is it the Elimination Chamber? Where exactly do you think Brock's going to come into play here?
I definitely see it at the Rumble. Whether it's number 30 or it's number one, it's still going to get a pop out of the crowd.
Right.
The crowd's either going to be booing or they're going to be cheering. But me, I see it at the Rumble because most of the time, things with the Rumble, if you're going to make it a surprise appearance, something that's not expected, it's the Rumble. You don't generally see surprise entrances into the Elimination Chamber. Usually, those are most of the time lined up pretty well. So yeah, the Rumble. That's definitely a good place to put him. Whether he wins it, I don't know. There's a lot of rumor who's actually going to win the Rumble this year, and it's bounced between LA Knight and Cody Rhodes. But yeah, the Rumble would be a shocking appearance out of nowhere. Even though social media ruins a lot of that nowadays. Because back in the day, before all this social media crap, you didn't know someone was coming back until it happened.
Hey, they hit Edge and Cody Rhodes pretty well for their returns. I'm just saying, Edge was out of nowhere at the Rumble. If you remember that moment, we were jumping up and down, screaming, and your brother Sean was knock it off, guys. Stop
There you
it.
go. Not that big of a deal.
You don't understand what's going on right now, and I'm not putting them down by any means. But look, man, you don't understand what just happened. The rated R superstars music just hit the arena speakers.
Yep.
And we just saw like 5 spears in a row.
Spear!
Spear! Like, oh my God. Like, and dude, that my pick, and I know we always, announce random things, but that's my pick of, return of the year, man. Like, return of the century.
And for me, it's between Edge and Cody Rhodes.
Just crazy.
Was huge. Nobody was really expecting Cody Rhodes to return to face Seth Rollins. There was rumors about it, and then it happened. And Cody Rhodes returning for me was a very exciting moment because I had waited for a while to see that man back on a WWE screen.
So, final surprise question.
Okay.
Favorite unique tag team?
My favorite team to come be tagged up?
Right. So, my favorite was RVD and Kane. And Goldust and Booker T.
Funny you say that because one of my favorites, and this goes back a little ways, when Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, was still in WWE, and that was Team Hell No. I absolutely love them. They had that perfect chemistry in the ring. No, yes. I absolutely love that tag team. More recent would be rated the RK Bro or Team RK Bro. I absolutely loved their chemistry when they came out. Riddle hitting an RKO, that stuff was awesome. So yeah, that would be my 2 picks.
Yeah, so I actually had 3 on my paper. I couldn't help myself this time. I had RVD and Kane. I had Goldust and Booker T. But my favorite was Eugene and William Regal.
Okay.
Just all the shit that William Regal had to deal with all the time. They sold it. You know what I mean? Like, they sold it as a team, and they became tag team champions.
And I'm interested to see what becomes of Jay and Cody, because I think they're a very great team together, and they're accomplishing things. I mean, they've already had 3 title defenses, and they have another one on Monday night
against the Judgment Day.
And I don't think they're going to lose their titles.
No, not yet.
No.
What would be the point of giving them the titles then?
Yeah, there'd be no point in it. I think it's going to be a very good one. And then Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, that was definitely an explosive team. I think that they kind of did them dirty, cutting them so short on their title reign. and cutting them apart so quickly. But there's bigger and better things to be had and to happen for both of those superstars, other than just hanging out in the tag team roster.
And as we move into our last little bit of news, Carlito's return. And now his first opponent back is Bobby freaking Lashley.
I think Bobby Lashley's underestimating Carlito. I think Carlito has got a lot to give and a lot to show Bobby Lashley in that ring. Now, don't get me wrong, Bobby Lashley is a force to reckon with, but I think he's underestimating Carlito.
I mean, Carlito's always been the underdog, but look how jacked. I mean, he looks like Chris Masters.
He was the underdog back in the day. That man's not an underdog now. That man has some strength built into him.
I just wish he would have kept his old music.
Yeah, I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Want to be cool. Man. Well, we gave you 56 minutes and a couple seconds. Missing Troy Black tonight. Shout out to my brother. Hope he's doing all right. Hope to see him back on the next episode. We will be live on YouTube for the HAW show for the first time. I will be doing my best to show the matches here on YouTube and give you all major updates.
Facebook.
Yep.
Live on Facebook.
You want to tell them your Facebook information so the fans know it?
Facebook name, Billy R. Rogers. Just check me out. Pull me up. You can add me as a friend. You can follow me however you want to do it. There's 3 little dots on the right-hand side. After you hit the follow button, 3 little dots, click on that. Go to add as a friend. I'll accept it as soon as I see it ding through, and we'll get you on there so you can watch that live event for sure. My shout out tonight definitely going to my brother Troy Black. Man, you have brought a lot of inspiration into my life since I've met you. You've helped me become a better person as far as prepping myself and preparing myself for the future. With us both wanting to become wrestlers, and you've also brought a lot of hype to this podcast. Being the number 1 analyst, it has definitely made this show well worth watching. We've done our best, between just the 2 of us to try to make this show bearable for our fans. But Troy definitely kind of gave a little spice to the podcast, making it better. Just showing that there's always room for improvement with stuff. So definitely a shout out to you. Love you, brother. We hope to see you here soon. Get you back on the podcast here on the next episode. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow. So, you know what it is. So definitely.
I got 3 shout outs. Shout out to Troy Black. Man, you have added some energy. You add a little bit of pop to the show. Glad that I met you, man. You're hella cool. I can't wait to the next pay-per-view. We're all going to be live right here. And shout out to Last Week in Wrestling podcast in the comment section.
Yep.
Always glad doing business with you, brother. Hope that continues for a long, long time. Hopefully we can all meet up in Brooklyn one day. You know what I'm saying? That'd be pretty cool. And then shout out to HAW. I'm not really gave them a full description of how I feel yet. These guys are awesome. They let us come to the show, and this is my first show I'm getting ready to go to because of my schedule. But I will be at the next show. And I can't wait. I've watched all the lives. I've seen the energy. I'm excited. I'm a major AMB guy. I just want to put that out there. I love his energy on the show, his energy in the ring, his entrance. He sells everything he does. He takes the bumps. This guy's the real deal. So go look up. Is it Austin Michael Baldridge?
Yep.
And add him on Facebook. You can see clips. Add him on his Instagram so you can see what this man's about. And go check out HAW on YouTube and Facebook. These guys are crazy, insane. If you're in the area of the Quad Cities, go to the show. It's worth the money.
I drive an hour to come see the show. It's well worth it. The money is well spent.
Worth it.
They don't disappoint. They several matches. And they've got, they have stands set up to buy some merch and things. They've got a little snack stand so you can buy some snacks. Just kick back and watch the show. They interact with the audience, that's for sure. A and B will come flying over that rope, and you got to move the fuck out the way because he's gonna smash somebody. That man moves. These guys, they literally get outside the ring and they fight right in front of you. So you got to be prepared to move the fuck out the way because they are delivering that hard hitting action day in, day out, all the time, whether it be on HAW, MCW, anywhere they go. Even the bigger brands, TNA Impact, NXT. There's superstars that come into HAW that were at one point a part of them shows as well, or even potentially still a part of them. They just make, with brands like TNA, they can branch out. They can wrestle in other places because TNA doesn't have that lockdown where you can't go anywhere like WWE. WWE has a strict policy. You are part of WWE. They do not want you going elsewhere in wrestling. They want you to be a part of their brand.
Well, they allow Shinsuke to go wrestle in Japan.
And that was because that was a tribute match. It was a tribute.
Yeah.
Match. Yeah.
But I mean, they do allow, certain superstars to go over to Japan. I've noticed a lot.
Oh, they must be getting better at it then.
But, I'm Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black. And this has been another amazing episode of Wrestling with Bros. See y'all in the next one.